Alright, what's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Why people don't trust black male leadership. Black male leadership has created an atmosphere where it's selfishness over succession, or selfishness over successors. You see, I'm gonna use some people as an example, right? Malcolm X was supposed to be a successor. So was Elijah Muhammad. From not so was Elijah Muhammad was actually a successor. I forgot his teacher was Fareed Muhammad or something like that. I'm sorry if I get it wrong, but Elijah Muhammad was his teacher's successor. Then Elijah Muhammad successors were either Malcolm or Louis Farrakhan. Those were his. So question is, okay, well, who is Louis Farrakhan's successor? See, that's where the failure comes in. You know, Martin Luther King was placed in his position by other preachers and other leaders, where it came to an agreement of who was going to be the leader. His successor wound up being Jesse Jackson. Who did Jesse Jackson make his successor? Nobody knows, right? James Brown was raising and teaching a kid by the name of Al Sharpton a few things, right? Al Sharpton is now who's getting old, has National Action Network. Well, who's his successor to take that over, right? Or take over his activism? Don't know? Neither do I. This is why black male leadership is not trusted. All these puss-ass preachers out here getting old. Who's gonna take the church to the next level? Anybody know? I mean, because the way it's been going, these preachers would die, and eventually somebody will get um, in that position and take over. But see, getting in and taking over is completely different from somebody passing on the torch, the mantle. Like, okay, this I went this far with it. You know, what's your plan? This is my plan for the future. I want you to move forward with, and let me hear your plan. Your plan works with that, and it can you take this to the next level, to the new heights. See, that's the problem. The selfishness is in the sellout. You know, I'm gonna get paid, baby. I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna get my name in the lights. I'm gonna be famous, and everybody gonna say my name and who I am. Yay, that's my legacy because everybody know my name. Okay, that's cool. Now that everybody know your name, you famous, you rich, you got it. Now who's gonna take this platform, this position, this business to the next level? Who? See, take it there with business. Barry Gordy in Motown. Barry Gordy sold Motown, right? And did he sell it to black people? No. Who was his successor? No. Motown is still actually a running company, though, right? See, so you didn't, so the Motown sound that could have still been alive to this day if he had a successor, you know, could have completely been on a different other level. It could have been on the level of Interscope or Universal as they were, right? But nah, can't do that. Why? Because in my opinion, these older quote unquote supposed leaders, they all been out for self. Now the weird part about it is they were all out for self, and they portrayed themselves and shown themselves over time to be out for self, even when they come from a generation where they were benefiting from their mentors, who, in most estimations, were not their biological parents. Okay, now you can pass down, and this is why when people talk about our community is fractured. On the male side, this is completely why. Completely why. Because all of a sudden, when you look around and you go to businesses, right? There have been numerous black businesses over the last 100 years, maybe last 150 years. But there have not been any success stories. This may be a family-owned business, but guess what? We're running out of family, so this brother's been working here for 30 years. He knows this place inside and out. We're going to have to leave the business to him and trust it to him. Here's the trust. Here's what we want you to do. This way you take it. Now, all of a sudden, it's a problem with that. See, you go around and you see established in 1908, established in 1860, established in 1970, established in 1960, right? The businesses that we establish, when it's time to pass the torch, what happens? We sell it. So and on that note, and then complain about these young men out here just out in these streets wilding out, they doing nothing with themselves. I'm just sitting back in my Rolls Royce. Do I have any grape upon? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. What did you do with the business that you had that would have employed some of these people, these young brothers that you're talking about so badly? Well, I had to come up hard on my own. Oh, really? Did you? Because when we look back into your past, you either had an inheritance for somebody who was a mentor to you, who may or may not have been your mother or father. You had a mentor who took you under their wing, who was completely probably not your mother or father, that put you in a certain position, and you had people around you who came before you, who knew ins and outs that you didn't know, and they were able to guide you along the way to make sure that you were successful. But when it was your time to do it, what did you do? What did you do, man? I wanted to turn up in the club. I'm sorry, I made mistakes. You was a motherfucking liar. You was a selfish fuck. And then, you got younger brothers like who are now starting from ground zero. And then you expect these people to start from ground zero and be on the same level in not the span of a lifetime, in a quarter span, a half span of a lifetime, to be on the level of people who are smart enough to incorporate themselves and treat their businesses and their institutions with enough common fucking sense and selflessness to know, okay, I might not be here to benefit from all this, but I'm going to leave this in the hands of somebody who I know who can take this to the next level so other people can benefit from it. See what I'm saying? So, and I can name numerous things set up this way. Isn't the presidency set up this way? Everything is intact, right? The whole structure and system is intact, right? And we're going to get a new president. 4 years later, we may get a new one after that. Same thing, but it'll be different people. But the system to keep growing this country remains the same, right? When you're in the military, you're going to have, that's what the ranking is for. Oh, that's a captain, that's an admiral, that's a lieutenant, that's a general, blah, blah, blah. And it goes downward. Who's first in command on this scene? Who's second in command on this scene? Who's the contingency after that? Are they going to be there? Is that same general going to be there 80 years from now? Fuck no. You know why? Because there's somebody in the wings that has been training under them to take over. Okay, general, I got you. I got all your tactics and all your wealth of knowledge over these years. I got it. I respect what you did. I understand what you did. I understand why you did certain things. I'm a little different than you, but I'm going to use some of this and some of that everything I've learned, I'm taking it from here. That's what you do with that knowledge, right? Is that happening? No. No. Do you think, that, making it a simple, all of these comedians that have been great over the years, there's Chris Rock, Eddie Murphy, Kevin Hart, Mike Epps. I know one person that does that. That's the J Spot. Do they do, any of the Wayans brothers? Do they own or create a chain or a comedy club for the next up and coming comedians? I mean, they do have the money for it. They do have the finances for it. They were but once again, you got to make it to a certain level for them to say, hey, man, you made it all the way up here. Now, since you made it all the way up over here, all by yourself, let me talk to you. No, that's why most people are like, man, fuck out of here. You can't tell me shit. I mean, if you look at Eddie Murphy Raw, it's the same thing when, he was talking about him, Richard Pryor, and Bill Cosby. You know, it's the same type of scenario, right? But if they had just, I mean, it's an improv damn near everywhere, right? I'm sure the improv was started by a comedian, right? Maybe he was famous, maybe he wasn't. I don't know. But he had the common sense enough to know is I should give these comedians a platform, because how will they grow their skill and become funny and be able to tour without nowhere to go to do it, right? But hey, what am I saying, right? Same thing, you know, BT TV One centric. I mean, Sean John Rockwell, are they gonna be able to give those companies? Do you think they're gonna, when Jay-Z says 30, 40 years down the line, well, I'm gonna just sell it? Just like Dre sold Beats by Dre to Apple, right? I mean, is he gonna create something else that's gonna employ other people, or he just gonna ball out? 9 times out of 10, he just gonna ball out, right? This type of shit I'm talking about, though. So you every other community is building up on something while we're building up something and tearing it down and say, well, you're gonna have to get it your goddamn self. And the people that are telling people to go get it for them goddamn selves and pick themselves up by their bootstraps, a good majority of them are people who actually been mentored and who actually succeeded somebody else. That's that bullshit.